Since we started the On Two Wheels and Four Paws video series about traveling on BMW adventure motorcycles with our German Shepherd Moxie, we've been thrilled by all the interesting questions we've received about Moxie's K9 Moto Cockpit. When we adopted Moxie as an 8-week-old puppy, we knew from looking at her parents that we should expect her to grow to be at least 60 to 70 pounds. So we started by scouring the internet for existing carrier options for the big dogs. There are some really creative DIY solutions out there, but most are for small dogs. The popular commercial ones are either intended for dogs under 50 pounds or for cruisers where the dog can sit upright and the center of gravity is still relatively low. But for a taller ADV bike like my G650 GS, we wanted her as low and as much like a duffel bag as possible.
Version 1.0 was inspired by the Moto pizza delivery boxes that are so common here in Guatemala. With the help of a local welder, we built a frame and then covered it with an aluminum sheet. Then we added a couple of roll bars and a removable vinyl rain cover. Part of the challenge with Jess's bike is that even without a luggage rack, the rear platform is about 6 inches higher than the seat. So the pizza delivery box dog carrier had a slight downward slope towards the rider. With Moxie facing backwards, the slope was supposed to pull her weight as much as possible towards the rider.
Honestly, it was a beast.
It really was. It was too heavy and it put too much strain on the chassis.
I didn't even want to ride with it empty.
So we put it aside for a month or so and then inspiration hit.
Inspiration? Really? Let's not be so dramatic.
Anyway, I realized that Moxie didn't need a carrier. She just needed something that would keep her secure through turns and safe in a crash, and that would allow as much of her weight as possible to rest on the motorbike. So that's how we came up with the idea of a tubular frame.
We cushioned it with pool noodles. That's right, pool noodles. And then we had it professionally upholstered and put 3M reflective tape along the contours to improve safety. We also made a cushion for Moxie to lay on and this platform, because as Greg mentioned, the rear platform is higher than the seat.
There are metal rings welded into each corner, and we use 5/8" rock straps to secure her harness to the frame.
At first I was worried about how she would get up and down. I didn't like the idea of needing Greg to lift her on and off every time we stopped. But then we started training her to saddle up, and we quickly found that she could leap up and down without a problem.
So Moxie leaps up, she turns around, and she lays down.
Up. Good girl, safe. Really, the last problem we had to work out was her harness. The Kurgo harness we had was plenty strong, but in the beginning when Moxie would fuss and struggle, the harness would pull up towards her head. So I sewed this belt attachment to keep the harness in place. The thing I like best about the K9 Moto Cockpit, besides the fact that it really works, is that instead of traveling in a box or cage, Moxie is having the experience of riding a motorcycle just like we are.
And in case you're watching this and haven't seen any of our travel episodes yet, yes, Jess has ridden with Moxie at speed. Yes, we've taken her off-road and through water crossings. And yes, we've had some falls and tip-overs.
We hope you enjoyed this behind-the-scenes look at how we put together our K9 Moto Cockpit, and we hope that you tune into our adventures on 2 wheels and 4 paws.